Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. Catch this. Deceiving your own selves. Oh, how many people are living in the world deceiving their own selves. Listen to me. I think you ought to get all the education you can. But let me tell you something. Some of that education you're going to get, some of it's foolish. I'll give you something that's foolish that young people have been taught now for a number of years here in our nation, that you came from lower life forms. Evolution. Evolution is a farce. It's a joke. It is not scientific. There ain't no scientist that ever proved the theory of evolution. By the way, a theory is a hypothesis of what we think happened. Who was around during the Big Bang? Nobody. But you say, well, why did they come up with that, preacher? I'll tell you why they came up with that. They didn't like the way God put it in the Bible. It was messing with their thoughts. So they chose to come up with a theory. The theory. Now, it's not taught as a theory, it's taught as fact. I'll tell you what it is. It's a fairy tale for grown-ups. It's exactly what it is. You arrived here on this earth as a part of creation. God created Adam and Eve. They began to produce offsprings, and you are a part of all the offsprings that have been attached to Adam and Eve. The very first parents put on this earth. This earth is created. You say, I don't believe in creation, preacher. Well, let me ask you a question. Think about this for a moment. Suppose you and I left this building tonight, walked out there in the parking lot, and we see an easel there, and we see a beautiful picture. Somebody painted a picture of the church. They took the front of the church and began to draw the picture of the church. They put the steps, they put the flagpoles and the sign and everything, and they did a marvelous job. It looked identical to what the front of the church looked like. You and I walk out there and look at that picture, and I said, you see that picture there? That picture just evolved one day. Paint just came up out of the ground. Brushes came up. And mysteriously, somebody began to streak into those paints and get the colors just right and painted that church. And that painting just evolved one day. You'd say, come on, preacher. We know better than that. There's nothing like that happened. Well, that's what evolution believes about creation. Let me tell you something. You know why you know that painting has? You know it had a creator. Somebody had to paint the picture. You know it just did not evolve out of the earth and come together. Amen. So you know what? You look at life, as intricate as it may be, and you see the trees and the grass and the moon and the sun and the stars, you know there had to be a designer. Somebody thought this out. Somebody created it. Let me tell you who did that. The God of the Bible. Amen. Put this thing together. His name is Jesus. We see the counsel. God has given us His Word to help us endure the troubles of life, the problems, the difficulties, and the struggle. You going through problems? Let me give you a book to read. Go to the book of Job. Read through the book of Job one time. I mean, tell you, if you think you've got problems, read what Job had to go through. Pretty soon you're going to realize your problems are awful tiny, awful small, compared to what old Job had to go through. The wise man is the believer who builds his life upon the rock of Christ. Let me show you one more scripture. Go to Psalms chapter number 1. Psalms chapter number 1. We're about done. Psalms chapter 1. Look at this with me. We'll be done. Look at Psalms chapter 1, because here it talks about the wise man. You want to know what happens to the wise man? Look, if you would, here in Psalm chapter number 1. I love these few verses here in Psalm chapter 1. Listen to what it says. Psalm chapter 1, look at verse 1. Blessed, the word blessed means to be happy, joyful. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But here it is. But his delight, we're talking about the blessed man. You want to be a blessed man? Here it is. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. Can I tell you what that word, the law, means there? It's talking about the scriptures. It's talking about the Bible. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, the Word of God. And in His law, in other words, His Word, does he meditate day and night. Is that what you're doing Look at verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth, and I love this part, shall prosper. That's the blessed man. You say, well, who's the blessed man? That's the wise man.
Right.
That's the wise man whose life is built to last. I don't know how many of you all in here this evening. I don't know how many of y'all are built to last, but I'll tell you this. God didn't save you for you to freak out. He saved you to last.
Right.
He didn't save you to give up and quit and throw in the towel every time problems come. He saved you to build you to last.
Right.
I say let's do it for Jesus. If you love him, you'll listen to him. You obey his word. Let's stand to our feet. Heads are bowed. Eyes are closed. Brother Rodney's going to come along here in a moment, get us a song ready. Sister Miranda will be playing the instrument for us. How many of you here tonight can honestly say, preacher, boy, old boy,